years I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here with Match Me Abroad Season 2, Episode 11, Trial by Fire. How are you, El Cid?
I am well. There's no fire over here because it's a cool 78. But the daters are under some fire.
They are. And that's funny. It's exactly 78 degrees here too. So let us know, guys, what's it like where you're at right now? What's the temperature and where are you from? Yeah, some of the daters are under fire. Like anyone in particular that comes to mind from this episode?
Oh, the friendly fire that I liked was Tony. Tony was under fire and I loved it.
Oh, okay. Hey, Greg. Oh, wow. Good to see you. It's an old friend of mine. I mean, not that he's old, but we're longtime friends. Good to see you.
I was about to say, daggone, Greg. She putting you in a pine box or something. Old. She putting you with a cane.
Oh no, Greg's not in a cane. Greg loves to cycle, as you can see here by his picture. He cycles all around Michigan. So yes, good to see you, Greg. Yeah, as El Cid has said, please be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on both our videos, and be sure you subscribe to El Cid 932. She is doing fantastic and marvelous things over there on her channel. Yes, to go to Africa. Good afternoon, El Cid. Actually, Aubrey and Chat. Yes, thank you so much. Anybody in particular stands out to you on this episode, El Cid? Did you like our girl Sarah? Did you like what happened with her?
Oh no. I'm like, no. Can we send Sarah back home? Oh my word, can we send Sarah back home?
I thought you would have liked this episode with Sarah a little bit better.
I needed her to be a little. It was too performative for me. It was too performative.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're gonna get there. We are going to get there. Because first up, we've got our boy Tony. So we're gonna get started with Tony today. I'm sure you got a lot to say about Tony too, huh?
Oh yes.
Wow. Well, Tony is out on his final date that Louisa is going to send him on, because this man has gotten on Louisa's nerves. I mean, if she gets any more upset, she's going to pull all her beautiful hair out and look just like Tony right here in this picture. Can you believe it? Tony got sent on another date. He met a beautiful Brazilian woman. They went out to do a little wall graffiti and to do a little painting. And because Louisa said she set them on this date because beauty is subjective. What did you think about that? What do you think about this date? What did you think about Tony's behavior, El Cid?
I like this date. I want to do this date because I would love to spray paint on the wall and not it be considered, a misdemeanor in my city. I would love to go spray paint a wall somewhere, and I don't care if somebody covers it up later, but I would love to do this date now. This date, Tony was giddy. Oh, I didn't even notice how short her hair was. I didn't even notice that. She's very beautiful. She looks amazing. Until, and this is why I love his matchmaker, she hit him with a girl that is the Uno reverse on Tony.
Yes, you caught that too.
The Uno reverse on Tony, because what the girl noticed is the hair that Tony does not have. because she prefers long hair or men
Mm-hmm.
with hair. And
Mm-hmm.
Tony felt offended.
You saw that too?
Oh, he stopped seeing the stars in her eyes and he was like, I need to tear her down. And I
Yep.
need to tear her down right now. And he did. He went at her. And I was like, thank you, Louisa, for showing everybody the real Tony.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing about it is I was watching this, I kept thinking, when they have these people do the confessionals, I thought that he brought all the bitterness to his confessional because he knows how this thing ends, right? By the time they tape the confessionals.
Right.
Yeah, he was nasty. He was bitter. He was all of that. He was petty. He was all of that.
He went at her looks, everything. And she has a gemstone on her teeth.
Teeth, yeah. Now I couldn't see it. I looked and I looked after he said it. I was like, but where? And her teeth are perfectly fine. So even if she did have a gemstone on it, it obviously wasn't that big.
It's on the right side. If you look at her here, it's like the third tooth, going towards our left, which is her right, or the
Mm-hmm.
second one. There is a little gemstone there, and there is such a thing as tooth piercing. It is a decorative jewel that is attached to the surface of a tooth, and
Mm-hmm.
it uses a bonding agent. The people in a lot of South
Hmm.
American countries do, use teeth piercings.
Okay. And do you know whether or not in all your research, because I know you researched this, do you know whether or not they're removable or would you have to get like a veneer once you decided to take it off or what happens?
You can. Some, like hers, the way hers looked, it looked like it was just a very strong bonding agent on the tooth. Like it'll eventually come off, or she could actually scrape it off. Like if you're scraping off, super glue or something like that, just an adhesive onto your tooth. But she looks like you could take hers off. There are some people that actually pierce a hole in their tooth and
Ew.
put jewels on it. So
Mm.
hers was very tactfully done. It looked like you could, and this is not how you do it, okay? Look like you just glue it onto her tooth, but it is something that,
Mhm.
adheres to your enamel really hard. It was
Oh,
cute. It was cute. It was
yeah.
cute.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because I couldn't see it. I'd had to magnify, and I guess I probably would have seen it. But the thing about it, like you said, it had to be really small. And my thinking, as you were speaking just now, I'm wondering too if there was something like a temporary adhesive to what you were saying. Like if she had such a small little diamond or whatever on her tooth, maybe there's a temporary adhesive that doesn't affect the outer layer of your enamel because that's what I guess I was concerned about. But other than that, I could have cared less. And did you think it was interesting the way Tony said, well, the only people that have diamonds and stuff in their teeth are rappers?
I
And he
wanted
didn't
to
really.
snatch the hair he did not have.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Somebody.
he was being very, very, he was showing us all of his MAGA. I'm sorry, Tony.
That's exactly what I thought. Mega Tony.
Tony gave the, stereotypical, oh, you got to be a rapper or you got to be someone who's black to in order to have, jewel or something in your tooth. And I was like, Tony, this is the time to put you on a plane right back to Florida. We do not need you in South America because if you're not open to this, there's going to be
Mhm.
stuff all over. I mean, please, time for you to go.
Also the comment he made when he first saw her, the comment he made in his confessional, he liked her milky white skin. I said, you know what? He would be very. It would be interesting to see how he would deal with if she took him home to meet her family. And I'm almost certain in the back of my mind, at least anyway, that someone in her family is about my complexion. They're brown. They're brown skin.
He is just looking out. When he said that too, that was the other indication of mega. Because it's like, oh, smooth, soft, creamy, white skin. And I have a short for that this week because he said milky skin. So I have a short, with a few spills of milk all over it. That I'm like, Tony, what color is milk that you're talking about? And you're saying it's creamy white? Okay, you are telling us exactly what you're looking for. And again, as you said, actually, Aubrey, the fact is that she may look like this and her children may be darker. What is
Hmm.
going to happen to Tony if his kids come out dark?
Hmm. I'm
If it's
picturing.
chocolate milk, okay?
I'm picturing maybe a mother or a grandmother on one of the parents' side is probably, like I said, my complexion, probably brown skin, clearly brown skin, maybe has frizzy, kinky hair even. So I don't know if he's researched the history of Brazil, but he might want to do that.
He might want to. He may want to meet a lot of the people in her family because and look at her roots, look at her eyebrows. It is dark. It is not blonde, Tony.
Mm-mm.
So I
That
need
blonde
you.
in her hair, I would speculate is added in on the ends.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's grow out. But
Hmm.
Tony was just looking at her like she was, his next queen, and I'm like, mm-mm. I don't think you understand. She's quite eclectic and she's quite artsy, as we were told by the matchmaker, who said if this don't work out with Tony, he gots to go. She gonna fire him.
She gonna fire him. Absolutely. I love the way this young lady, I forget, I don't recall her name, but I love the way she talked about how she has her own dog and she asked him if he was a dog person. Of course, he said no. So she said in her confessional, that's a little alarming because dog people need to be with other dog people. And I kind of agree with her. I kind of agree. What do you think about the dog person comment?
I agree to a certain extent. Like, you have to have an affinity for pets. Somebody may not have a dog because they, may have lost it in a divorce or separation.
Okay.
So I would like to know why you don't have a pet, but if you had pets in the past, but those
Hmm.
were her strikes against her, you know.
Yeah, that was what he thought. That was actually a strike against her. Anything that I feel like that would take a woman's attention away from Tony is a strike against her. So I just don't even know how he would ever expect to be a dad because I don't think he realizes that having children means you actually have to give them attention.
Don't forget, all of his research shows that people who have dogs and have the dogs in the bed, they have psychological issues. Remember his research.
Oh, not the research. I want you to go, Africa. The research.
So she has a pet, she has a dog, which she said is she's very close to. That was one strike. The piercing in the tooth was the absolute last strike. The short hair actually was the first strike, but he let that slide. But then after he came back whipping.
He did. He did. He really, really did. And he said, I just don't think that Louisa really understands me, and I'm really upset about it. That's
And
that was
apparently
his
he
comment.
insulted the young lady because the message she left for the matchmaker said he was very rude and insulting.
Yes, yes, it is. And this is Louisa talking about that. We see Louisa saying that, you know what? I'm absolutely ready to fire Tony. There is nothing I can do to help this man. He is just so narrow minded. He's very narrow minded, I think.
Yes, he's very narrow-minded. All I was thinking at first when Louisa was there is like, Louisa, that drink look good. You look good. And if you're going to have to endure Tony's personality for even half a second, you need a good drink. And that looked like a good either mocha or a chai. I would be like, yes, girl, we need to sip on something while we wait on Tony to rack our nerves.
Yeah, I can't wait till she really does give him the boot because Tony is rude. Tony came to Brazil and it's like how he's I think part of the group of people, Americans that go overseas that make people in other countries think that all Americans are like him.
Right. I can't imagine how he's treating the staff.
No, no, me neither. Me neither. Can
Because
you
after
imagine
this
that?
date, and he is just upset with the young lady, and now he's talking everything he couldn't stand about her. He probably went back to that hotel or went back to something to eat and, went at the staff. But here's the thing, do we think Tony's going to come back for another season?
Mm. He might. He might.
Okay.
I hope they if he does, I hope they take him to Africa, somewhere in Africa.
He ain't going there. He ain't getting on
Oh,
the plane.
what about South Africa? What about South Africa?
He ain't getting on the plane. The minute he said you say Afra, he's like, can't do it. Remember, he want creamy, milky white.
There's creamy milky white in South Africa. You know, the
No,
land, former land of apartheid.
he don't want the Africa spelt with a K, okay? He does not want that Africa.
Okay, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to see out
Absolutely
here.
beautiful. And it may be the ladies he need because they will definitely crack him into shape.
Okay,
But we
Sharp
do
said
not
he
exactly,
better
K-Shop. We do not want him on the motherland. He could stay. He could find someplace else in South America.
not. Oh, you guys are tickling me.
Tony is 0 for 3.
He's 0 for 3. Yeah. Okay, so we got Tony 0 for 3. And so our next dater up is our friend Harold.
Yay,
Hey, we
Harold!
got Harold. Harold, what did you think about Harold and his date with the friend? He got to finally meet Amber, Singapore Amber's best friend.
I got my pom poms out today for Harold because Harold did a very good job.
He did.
Harold,
He
you
did.
dressed well. Okay. I was a little skittish about it. I was like the concerned parent sitting on the side, like, oh gosh, Harold, don't say that. But it went over well. He was dressed well. He walked
He
in. He
was.
he picked the restaurant. He did not know, though I was worried about that, Harold. You pick a restaurant you ain't never been before in a country that you ain't never been before to meet the friend. What if the restaurant was absolutely terrible? You know, he's lucky. But it's look like a great restaurant. I want to go to Singapore and try this restaurant.
I know. And I just have to say, getting back to Harold and his appearance, I love this color on Harold. Harold needs to go out and buy at least 3 more tops this color. They don't have to be this style, but this color. I really thought this color brought out the warmth in his skin and his hair, and he looked very handsome in this top, in this color.
And we did not see his sweaty underarms. So
No, we
it
we did
certainly
not.
helps with that because she said his arms were sweaty.
Yeah, he does. He has a tendency to sweat a lot because they talked about this with Harold even in the first day with the other lady that he has sweaty palms and apparently he sweats a lot under his arms. So I think you had mentioned something in an earlier episode about there is a process that people can have done if they're so interested in having like their underarms. What is that? Like some kind of laser or something applied to it?
No, for people who are sweaty, what they do is they put Botox in their underarms.
Botox.
To,
Okay,
yes,
Botox.
to prevent the sweat glands. Sometimes it's to cut it off, but sometimes it's just to reduce the sweat glands from, flooding as much as Harold's.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because that can be embarrassing. I can only imagine that can be embarrassing. I think when I was going through my teen years and puberty, I kind of dealt with that a little bit, but as I got older, it stopped. It lessened, so it doesn't. It's not that
He way
overflow.
past puberty though, Aubrey.
I know, no, but I'm saying, but it's I'm saying after, immediately after puberty. So by the time I was in my late teens, it was gone. I mean, I didn't have that problem, but I'm just saying, just I don't know, I don't know. But the Botox, if that works, that's a thought for him because I really like Harold. So on this date, Singapore Amber asked him. They ordered their food. They decided to order I think what was it, the Korean ribs,
Barbecue.
barbecue.
Hmm.
Yes, barbecue. And then when they got before that, they were ordering drinks, and Harold said that he was going to have some rice wine, and she said, "Well, are you sure? Have you had drink? What happens when you drink?" And he says, "Well, I usually start dancing," and I thought that was really cute. Her friend Joe was kind of hard on Harold with the questions, and Harold was definitely seemed to be a little frustrated that there were so many questions coming at him. But I thought he took his time and handled the questioning very well. What did you think?
I think he did too. I think the friend also came at Harold because this is unorthodox for you to be meeting so quickly.
Hmm.
Because it's like, well, why is this such a rush? Why is this here? I do compliment Singapore Amber that even though she said, "Hey, I didn't want to do this right now. I didn't want to introduce him to a friend." She is going to kind of be accommodating by bringing just one friend, Joe, to kind of like, okay, Harold, this is the first level of friends to see what will go down. So I see, she kind of appeased him and she kind of had her friend there. So I compliment her for, kind of like opening it up. Now, the rice wine, Harold, I was worried about that too. You do not drink liquor, okay, if you're trying to make an impression on the friends. Stick
Yeah.
with the water. You're already dehydrating from sweating. Stick with the water.
What? Or at least the tea.
Right. Take your favorite tea. Do not try to drink with the friend. What if the friend was a real drinker and was like bottoms up, like we shot. Now you're forced to keep on drinking, and now we're gonna have Harold dancing on top of the hot plate. I mean, really, he didn't think this through.
Well, he didn't. And you know what? At one while, Singapore Amber was saying, suggesting that, you know what, maybe we order a whole bottle of wine just for Harold, like egging it on.
Right? She wanted to see him dance.
Yeah.
It's like, that's when you pull out Harold and say, "I'm your private dancer. Don't be having me dance for your friends now."
A dancer for money.
Right. Now dancing for rice wine tonight.
Do you see them looking at him?
Right. Like, what kind of dance, Harold?
What's going on? What are you really talking about, Harold? But overall, Harold said, you know what? She said, well, how many? First of all, the friend Joe asked him, said, well, what happened last year when you went to where did he go last year? To Croatia? Was it Croatia?
Oh, the friend knew everything.
She
She
knew
said,
everything, yeah. And so he told her, he said, well, I met, we liked each other, but things didn't work out. And she says, well, how many dates or how many women have you met here? And Singapore Amber was surprised when he said only two, including one being her. And then she said, well, what happened with the first lady? And he said, well, there just really wasn't any chemistry. And then she said, well, what about my friend, Amber? And he said, well, I like her. She's warm. We have chemistry. And she ticked all my boxes. And Amber said, I ticked all your boxes? He said, yes, Amber, you ticked all my boxes.
and that's where he lost me because you haven't explored all with her. She ticked majority of your boxes because even
Okay.
though y'all have chemistry, y'all have not done the horizontal mambo. You don't know if that's going to be on point. So it's not every box yet, Harold. You still have not
Oh,
explored her
oh,
box. And that's
oh.
all I'm going to say about that. But Joe here, I like Joe. I really like Joe.
She was sweet. She was really sweet.
She was funny, and I love her glitter on her eyes. Joe came camera ready. I loved it.
She did. She really, really did. I thought, you know what? She gave him the what for. She gave him the business, but then she really listened to his answers and his responses. And she said, you know what? I think you two might be able to make this thing work if you put the work in.
Right. She said, I could see y'all are very similar. And then when, he talked about limitations, Joe was like, hey, most of the men in the area, they have some sort of anxiety or they're not, always 100% confident. So it's not like he's totally strange. But
Mm-mm.
Joe took it in stride. She did ask about his autism, and
Mm-hmm.
she took it in stride, and she was like, okay, though she did correct Amber, which was very, very interesting when
What's that?
Amber said people who are autistic, maybe they're just super smart. And Joe said, no, 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 they're neurodivergent.
Ah, she did. She did. Also what's interesting though too, Joe said, you know what? She says, well, what is it like when you talk to people or you're in groups of people? And Harold admitted that he gets nervous, and he says that he's learned that there are certain things that he cannot say. And she said, oh, so kind of like you have no filter. And he said, yeah, I kind of didn't have a filter. And then, interestingly enough, Amber chimed in, and no, Joe chimed in, and she said, "Oh, like Amber," which
We
I
already
thought,
know Amber ain't got no filter.
yeah, I thought that was funny. I said, "Okay." So remember, I told you before. I said I'm wondering if Amber might be neurodivergent also.
Or she could just be like me and have no filter. Okay, you ain't got to be neurodivergent to just speak what's on your mind and,
Okay, okay.
and not care what people or not care what people think.
She
Like
just doesn't care.
right, Amber and I probably are the people that are aware that this may not go off very well, but we still gonna say it.
We're gonna say it anyhow. Anywho. Yeah, so they had a nice meeting of the minds. It was a nice gathering, and I think that Amber got her validation from her friend Joe, and she sees now that Harold can kind of mix and mingle with Joe and perhaps maybe some of her other people. What do you think? What do you think the two of them will do next for the next get together, next date?
I don't know, but I hope they do a lot more that she not gonna tell Joe because we realized she didn't tell Joe about that kiss.
Yeah, wasn't that something? When Harold said, "Well, we kissed," and she said, "You what? You did what? Hey, wait a minute! You how could you keep the most important thing from me, Singapore Amber?"
Right, you naughty girl, you did not tell me everything. I was like, Joe, I could hang with you. I could truly hang with you. Joe
Yeah.
was everything a friend needed to be. And Amber cleared it up. She's like, oh, I went for his cheek, but he turned on me. And Joe was like, mm-hmm, yeah, mm-hmm.
There was something else. One last thing. It was something else that Joe said. She said, "Well, because." She says because Amber hasn't been in a relationship in a long time.
Very long time. It's like, oh, Joe. Now Joe had enough rice wine. She telling all Amber business.
All her business. I'm sure Harold caught on to that too.
Oh yeah, Harold picked up on everything. Harold noticed it was more people. He may have missed some things, but since he only has to focus on Joe, Harold picked up everything.
He picked up everything. So I don't know what more he's gonna be pressing Amber for.
But Harold left there feeling like he has an advocate, that someone
Yes.
who will help, kind of like translate him to Amber if it's necessary.
Yeah, yeah, I love the way he said that too. He felt like he had an advocate for him because I agree. I think that he definitely does have an advocate, and I think he kind of needs one too because you and I have both noticed that Singapore Amber has kind of went back and forth and kind of is a little confusing about what she feels about Harold.
She is. Oh my word. She is. I can't sometimes get a read on her.
I can't either. I really can't either. I think she really likes Harold, but I think it's one of those things where she kind of does want to make sure that he can fit into her life and that he's also has enough independence that like she said earlier in one of the other episodes, that she doesn't have to be the grown up for him.
Ah, okay. I can
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
hey, he picked a great date the last time. He picked a great
He did.
restaurant this time. So I'm hoping she's warming up to him.
I hope so. I hope so because I think he really, really likes her. And I don't know. I think they could maybe work. So we'll see. We'll see. But our next dater, this young lady right here, Amber, is back. And she's in the bed with Kavan. Ooh wee, what's going on, Amber? What's going on? Uh, I thought, I thought these two, when I saw them getting in the bed, and she says that she saw his tush, I just knew the two of them had did the mambo. I just knew it. I knew they had done some swirling around in the bed, but I don't know. They asked her, production asked her, and she claims that they did not do any funny stuff. What do you think?
Not you saying swirling around in a bed. Now you know exactly what we're looking at, a swirl right here. But
Right.
that's why I muted my mic. I was busting out laughing.
Intentional
Oh,
pun.
intentional. Um, I know this was a fake photo shoot right here because there's no way, ladies, those of us with our natural hair and natural hair woven into our natural hair will be laying like this all night
Oh, okay.
with
Well,
the
no,
hair
she got.
open.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, because I was gonna say she got a scarf on up the top, but I see what you're saying.
Right,
The
she got
rest
a
of
scarf.
it.
I'm sure he got the whole scarf and bonnet treatment last night. Okay. But
You think
I was
so?
hoping she did not share her milkshake with him. I was hoping so.
She brought it to the yard, but she didn't share
She
it.
did not share it. I was so happy. She said
Oh
all
my
she
lord.
had in the bed was some pasta. I was like, I hope you did not lick the cheese off of Kevin. Okay. I hope you were demure and mindful all night. You don't need a pillow for it. Y'all are grown. But I'm sure she kind of probably, slipped a little feel to see what kind of pasta he working with. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Nothing
Nothing
at all
wrong with
wrong with
that.
that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Make sure it ain't a complete limp noodle. Okay.
In fact, I highly recommend it if if you know what you like, I highly recommend it before the deed to find out because it makes no sense to me, ladies, why you don't find out before you do the deed. Before you take all your clothes off, you need to know what you're working with.
Right. And to go to Africa is in my head because, yes, he did not wake up looking like a man well satisfied.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Oh yes, I don't think they did anything. Look at his facial expression. He doesn't look like a man that went to the promised land. Oh no, he had a little smile on his face. He had a little grin. I thought maybe they were being coy, but apparently you guys are right. I do believe when Amber said it emphatically, I do believe her. I take her word for it that they did not. So anyway, they got up and they got dressed and they went out in front of this castle to the backyard and they were going to do some bow and arrow, some what do you call it? Some archery.
Hmm.
And the thing was that the bet is that if he should win, she would not go out on any more dates with anyone else but him. And I don't know what was the bet if she won. Do you recall what that was,
No,
Elsa?
she said she don't mind the bet. She just keep on dating.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like you didn't need to do this bet. You just need to step up, Kevin. You just need to step up. This girl
Mm-hmm.
is here, pun intended, ripe for the picking, and you're there clueless.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
is to say that Amber ain't, she could have thrown the competition and let him win. But
Yeah.
she fought for that.
She
She
did.
fought to be able to date other people. Mm.
She did and won the archery competition, which I was like, okay, girl, okay, show 'em what you're working with now. So she won that one. I liked that after that she did her little flip. She did her little what do you call it?
Cartwheel.
Cartwheel. She did her cartwheel. And Kevin said that he likes that childlike sense of adventure that he has. He's very attracted to that. He finds that very attractive. They
Of
went
course,
walk.
because he's like a wet rag.
He's like a wet rat.
He
Well,
is. He's got no excitement about him other than that bet, and that is just fleeting. I
other
couldn't
than the what?
be.
Wait. Other than the what? He has no
Other
excitement
than the
about.
bet,
Oh,
the
the
bet
bet.
that he, doesn't want her to date anyone. That's about as much spice as I have seen from him this whole weekend.
Well, now to be fair, so when they went walking, they found a lovely place to sit with a great view of the pond, and he started talking to her. And this is when I was impressed with him. He said, "Listen, Amber, have you thought about that? If we continue to go on more dates while you're here, have you thought about what it looks like when you go back home to Texas? What a long distance relationship might be like?" So now, come on, you got to give Kivan credit for that.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
No, I
do.
don't. I
Why
don't.
not? Why not?
Because the thing is, we could have been having this discussion all this while. You're only talking to me deep when you're in my face. What is going to happen is you have seen right here, right now. We are talking. You've had all this time, and now because I'm in front of your face, you want to have this discussion.
Well, isn't it better to have the discussion face to face rather than on the phone?
He has shown you that even though you are in his country, he is not communicative. That's what he has shown. Kevin has shown that if we ain't even long distance and you still ain't communicating right. That's where I would have been Amber, and I would have thrown it back at him. Well, are you going to step it up because I'm here in your country and you ain't really communicating as I need you to?
Yeah, now that you're right. Now I agree with you on that. That would have been a good time for her to make mention that, you know, why weren't we doing better? Why weren't you doing more to communicate with me while I was here? And so what are you going to do different while I am here? And then we can look at
Exactly.
Yeah, and then we can look
Exactly.
at what we're gonna do once I go back to my country and you're here in Ireland. But now he did mention though that he has thought about for a while possibly moving abroad from Dublin, Ireland to Canada of all places. And when he said a boat, being living in Michigan and spending a lot of time in Canada, I said, yeah, that sounds very Canadian. A boat, a boat. It's the way they say.
Right. I mean, quite a few people do migrate from there to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And also, people from Dubai and stuff migrate to Canada. So I wasn't too, much, curious about that. I was
Mm-hmm.
more curious about Amber's response, where she said it doesn't have to be either country, it could be somewhere else in the world. I was like,
Really? Yeah,
oh, Amber, like where?
right, right, like right, exactly. Where? Dubai? South Africa?
Right.
Where?
Where are you talking about?
Yeah.
I
Where
was just,
exactly?
I was like, she's
Well,
right, and she says her job can take her anywhere. Remember, she's a makeup artist, so she could go anywhere. The
mhm.
industry is just about anywhere. But my thing is where, and would he be open to some place that isn't, a place he's researched before?
Ah, yeah, because
You know,
when he
if
said, go ahead, go ahead.
if he if she brought up, like, today, I saw a documentary, this young lady, just a little, documentary on her, that, this African American young lady, 30 something, is living in Serbia. Now I was like, wait a minute, we in Serbia? So I don't know where Amber's talking about going. There's the world is the limit. And I'm like, but I need to know where, Amber. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, get more specific about it. If she's thought about another place in the world, then just say so. Say what the place is so that he can research and look it up too, because you don't want to just hit him with it, willy-nilly at the last minute. I think we have to give Kevin credit. At least he brought this conversation to her. He did it face to face. He's looking her straight dead in her eyes. So I think that this is something that he's apparently considering.
Kevin, you ain't got to worry about her moving or moving around. You got to worry about her giving back that engagement ring. She's a run and a track star. This, whether she gonna marry you, is the question.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm. I'm looking at what To Go to Africa says. She says that if I was in his position, I wouldn't take her seriously because the U.S. is a hugely racially diverse country with plenty of white men for her to date. He may think that she's there for fun. Hmm. But
And
I
that may
thought,
that may be right, because he likes the infectious, childlike qualities, and maybe he doesn't take her too seriously.
ah, yeah, but I was going to say, but I thought the whole reason why she came to America, as well as the other women that came, some of them white, was because of the nature of dating in America, not necessarily because we don't have a racially diverse population, because we do. You're absolutely right. To go to Africa, we have a racially diverse cultural mixing of groups and different people, but if her experience is that most of the American men that she's dated, they're not serious, they don't want to marry, or she hasn't found them to be family oriented. Well, because I guess you're right about one thing, Elle said she's had three proposals, so these men apparently were somewhat serious about her. They wanted to take it to the next level, right?
Exactly. These men were somewhat wanting to, start a family, get married. We don't know the reasons why she decided to end the engagements, but I'm kind of worried on either of their part. It's like,
Does
does
he? Do you think he knows? Sorry, I'm sorry. Do you think he knows? I just thought about this. Do you think he knows that she's had three wedding engagements? Do you think he
we
even
don't
knows
know.
that?
They have not shown us that, he's been told that. We don't know. And my
Yeah.
thing is, the hard part is I need to be in your face for you to express yourself to me, and that Kiva needs to work on in a relationship. But yes, he knows that men are basically the same everywhere in the world. And because I cover Love is Blind and
Hmm.
other shows all over the world, it is just a different culture, same issues.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that because we've seen in Brazil, the Brazilian women are basically saying that Tony has dated. They're all saying the same thing in their confessionals that the Brazilian men are for the streets.
They are not serious. They are F boys. Okay?
They're so good looking, you know.
Exactly.
They are so good looking. Like hey, they can get who they want.
Right. And the ladies too, they could get what they want. But then, our we get a reputation that's a little bit different if we get whatever we want. But
True.
here, I'll give him a half a point for just bringing up the conversation, since you insist, Aubrey,
I
on
insist.
giving him some credit.
Giving them some credit. Give the boy some credit. And last but not least, what our girl Sarah. We're back on our girl Sarah. Sarah had, to me, the most interesting experience out of all the daters this episode. What did you think about Sarah's date? She had basically two dates with EJ this episode.
Yes, she had 2 dates with EJ. EJ, I will say you're looking mighty fine, okay? Each of those dates, you looked mighty fine, okay? This is what Singapore is growing, homegrown. Ladies, y'all may need to go to Singapore. Um, EJ did come both times bearing gifts,
Woo, child. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
branded gifts.
Branded, like name brand. Let me see. Let me see right here.
Yes.
Valentino from the
Yes.
Valentino boutique. Woo.
Yes. I did not check the price tag on that. I said, let me leave it alone. Let me not be like Tony doing too much research.
Doing
Okay.
too much research. Yeah. I thought that was really cute because when I saw the big old bag, I'm like, ooh, what did he get? But I love that he got her something that she can use in everyday life. And yet it's a designer brand. And that's something that she would love and appreciate.
And he's showing exactly what he told the matchmaker, that he does want a lady in which he can spoil.
Yes, he did. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Sarah
indeed.
was very appreciative. Okay.
Mm.
But she wanted him to take that shirt off.
Well, can you blame her? I wanted him to take it off too.
Under the guise that I want to see your tattoo. I want to see that dragon you got. It's like, girl, you just got Valentino. And I was like, oh, she was very thankful, but I was like, that ain't what she wanted from Valentino.
She got to see him dive in the pool. She did get to, and he asked her. He said, "Well, are you gonna? Did you bring your swimsuit? Are you gonna get in with me? I would like for you to get in with me." I love this part of the conversation that they had because she said, "Well, you know what? Ordinarily, I would be right there beside you, but I got all glammed up, and I don't want to mess my hair and my makeup up." And then she said, "You know what? I want to have a conversation with you about." Me being a glam girl, is this something that bothers you that you would want me to change? And I love what he said. He said, you know what? That is who you are. I would be a fool to want to change who you are. I have to love you for who you are, not for who I want you to be. And I like those parts about you. I like how you're supportive of me because we found out this episode that EJ was going to a competition that he had already planned before he met her. He's going away to another country to do this bodybuilding competition. And she was a little bit disappointed, but she still said, you know what? I understand that you had booked it already. I'm in full support. And when you come back, we're going to celebrate with some cookies and some Singaporean treats and all of that. And he even said, well, I'm going to take you to my favorite treat restaurant.
Right. That's what he did say. As you said, he did get into the pool. He did splash her legs. Sarah could at least sit at the edge of the pool. You know what? She could at least sit at the edge of the pool. No use in him just being the only one all wet. Okay. Double entendre intended. So
Oh, she
Uh,
was wet. She might not have been sitting close enough to the pool for your liking, but she was definitely wet when that shirt came off.
right, he's been so accommodating. He bore you a gift, all of that stuff. So I like the fact that he said, glam is a part of who she is. But Sarah, I hope you're not showing him that glam is going to keep you from enjoying things like the pool. You know what I'm saying? Glam is going to, he may be thinking that, like, oh, we can't go by the pool if it's a makeup day. But he is like, okay, she's very expressive. She expresses herself through her hair and makeup. That's perfectly fine. But yes, they did go to a lovely restaurant. It did seem like like the bar area of the restaurant. He brought flowers for her mother, which, did you notice that side by side with the mama?
Yeah, yep, I did. I did. Let's see. I have it here. Hold on. He came out to meet the mom. That was their second date. And he brought flowers for the mom. He said, "This is a belated Happy Mother's Day." Gave her flowers, and she was very, very impressed by the flowers and by his general kindness and chivalry. I think EJ is a man, in my opinion, what we've seen of him thus far, he's a man that kind of is centered in old school traditions. Like, he's very chivalrous, he's very polite. Um, I like when even he corrected Sarah when she said, "You're saying all the right things," and he said, "No, I'm saying all the real things."
Exactly. He is saying all of the real things, but they also right, just like he wore the right color blue in order to blend well with them.
Hmm.
Um, EJ is knowing, I mean, I know he knows to be himself and to be presentable in order to also be chosen. I
Hmm.
think EJ is still not, he wasn't giving me I really want to win you. It's more, I want to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Not TV seen, but seen by a beautiful woman.
Oh, okay. That's what he was giving you. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it
Okay.
was giving me. Like, okay, he wants to present well,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
can see that.
yeah.
Although I felt like I get what you're saying, and I do see some of that, but I also feel like the way he looks at her and the way he communicates with her, I think that she's probably a lot different from the women he's met in Singapore. I feel like while she may seem like an opposite to him, the fact that on their first date, how she opened up and was vulnerable and talked about her relationship with her father being deceased, but how she still goes and communicates with him, where in his resting place, how her mother is her best friend. I think that all of those things and how she talked about herself and the things and she listened to him, I think all of those things kind of bonded Tony with Sarah. I mean, I'm sorry, EJ with Sarah.
I agree. I do agree that that bonded them, certainly.
So
Um,
I don't know. I think he really likes her and he finds her intriguing. And I think the other thing that I see on screen is that it feels to me like they have a lot of physical chemistry.
they could. They
Okay.
could. I'm on the fence with them.
On the fence.
I'm really on the fence with them because I'm like, either he's presenting well, he's really into her. Um, I, uh, I don't know if he's performative yet. I can't get a full read on him.
Hmm.
That's all. I can't get a full read on him.
Okay. And then to your point, to go to Africa is saying Singapore is a long way to go to find a man to have a serious relationship with. I don't know how she can expect him to support her financially, physically, and emotionally in a long-term relationship. Good point. Good point. What do you think about that?
I do agree with that. It's a long way to go from Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're trying to drag the man to Texas. The man ain't never been to the U.S. I'm like, you may have to move to Indonesia, young lady.
Yeah.
You may have to spend some serious time in Indonesia to be with this man. I mean, he's coming bearing gifts for you and your mama.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It
I,
shouldn't be a struggle.
I think so. I think that, and it seems like because what her business, she was working remotely doing her, I think it was swimsuits and swimsuit attire. She was doing that remotely in Texas. I wonder if she could probably do that just as well remotely in Singapore.
She possibly could.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe she could. But yeah, I do feel like, to your point, I think that if she really wants EJ, she wants to be with him and have a long-term relationship, I think that this is going to require her to, for the time being, move there to Singapore with him. Because what was he saying? He was getting ready to open a new gym in Bali, right?
Yes, he wants to expand his gym to Bali.
Hmm.
I know Ja Tony said he could open a gym in the US. US got enough gyms.
Yeah, they
Um,
really do. They
but
really do.
I would like to know how many, how EJ has placed in these bodybuilding competitions.
Yes.
How has he placed before? And it's very interesting to me because most bodybuilding we used to see, the men weren't completely tattooed like he is. So, it's kind of like, beauty queen kind of stuff. I'd like to know, how has he done these competitions before? It's easy, and my husband said, why do you think he's competing? He could be
Mhm.
coaching someone. And I was like, daggone it, because he looked good. He looked good enough to
Oh,
be
yeah, you know
competing.
what? I didn't even think about that, but he did say competing though. That's a word that he used. He said the competition and competing. So I took it that he was actually in the competition.
I took it as that too.
I didn't take it that he was training someone, because I could have seen if he had just said, "Well, I'm going with," but at the point where the person is ready to go to the competition, do you need a trainer to go with you? Like what?
Some people do. Some people, the trainer is the one, managing your water, your food, your all kinds of stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
if you can have someone like an assistant, it
Okay.
does help. You don't have to do everything for yourself. But yeah, he looks good enough to be competing. I thought he was competing. It's good for his gym if he's competing. But yeah, she'll have to move out there because he's looking to expand the gym in Bali. The competition was somewhere else in that region. He, as he said, he is born and bred there, and that's where he has found success.
Yeah. That is true too. This is the thing about this particular date that I really, really like though too, is that when the mother was finished, asking her, she asked him about when was his last relationship that he was in, and he said only a month and a half ago. Did that bother you? Because at first that kind of seemed to throw Sarah off. Did that bother you?
I need to know how long the relationship was. What bothered me was that he said if it didn't break off, he would have been engaged.
Oh, okay.
That's what bothered me. It's like, oh, you saw a future. A month and a half, the person could, call you crying and you go right back.
Yeah, yeah. That's the scary part, right? That
Right.
is
That's
the
a, that's
scary
that's
part.
what was scary for me. I was like, ooh, you over that heartbreak already? Okay. That's why I thought, okay, maybe you're performative. Are you really here for Sarah, or are you here for people to see your gym?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do think that he really likes her, but you're right though. It could be that it's too soon right now, and maybe I don't know. Maybe something inside of him is using her as a distraction.
Could be, this is certainly making him look good and advertise his gym for those who come to visit Singapore.
Yes, yes, that is true.
But
That
he
is.
did make a grand gesture, though. I ain't gonna hold him. He made a grand gesture.
And talk about that. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
What EJ was supposed to be going to the competition, y'all, and he was coming back like a day or two before Sarah left. EJ has decided a competition is always going to be coming, but there isn't unlimited time with Sarah, so he has decided not to go to the competition and to stay and spend time with Sarah.
Hmm.
Grand gesture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or is it
And
he trying to save money? Which one?
I don't think EJ, who Dolly has told us is quite successful. I don't think EJ has a issue with money.
I
I don't
know,
think
I
that.
know.
Yeah, I think that really was a grand gesture. So, do you think that it was a from the heart gesture, or do you think it was just? What do you think?
It could be from the heart, okay? No man is spending money, Valentino, whatever, if he doesn't have some kind of feelings. I just wonder at when he said it. I think he said it in front of mama to gain a whole lot of points. Because he probably knew at the pool earlier or the day before.
Oh, so you think he knew and he was saving that little tidbit to really hit mom with the the knockout punch, like, Mom, I'm the
Exactly.
one, I'm the one, I'm the one. But mom seemed to really like him. Now here's the thing. What do you think about this? Sarah's mom seemed to really like him, and Sarah told us in the confessional that her mother is a really good judge of character. So now, if she says her mother's a really good judge of character, wouldn't her mother be able to see through the glitz and the glam?
She could, but hey, I could see. You know me, I could see Mama dating EJ.
Stop it.
Send Sarah home. I'm sorry.
Mom is so beautiful.
Mom is absolutely gorgeous. I could see Mama, you know, dating EJ or someone of EJ's ilk. You know, EJ's already
Yes,
attached to her daughter. I'm not saying she gonna kick her daughter to the side to
right.
date him. I'm just saying if we looking at it, EJ don't look too far off from, you know, possibly dating the mama.
Okay. Yeah. To go to Africa says that she thinks that Sarah appears to be desperate and that EJ probably senses it. Her desperation makes her very vulnerable to a stranger. His culture is one in which men typically have more control over women than in the US.
He clearly
Hmm.
has more control if he keep on bringing gifts. I'm serious.
Well,
She
yeah,
has
and if
no
he keeps on
problem.
taking his shirt and his slacks off in the and in the trunk in front of her with those tattoos and that great body, yeah, he gonna have some control over her.
Exactly. And the thing is, as to go to Africa, saying that desperation is going to make her be blinded to, her, the control being pulled in. She ain't going to see it.
Mm-mm. Well, I don't know. Okay, so what do we see for coming up next week? We got did you recall?
For next week, we see Monica. We see
Yes.
both the men.
She's
The
gotta see.
matchmaker said, "Oh, you got a problem? I have both
Mm-hmm.
men here. We can
Mm-hmm.
both talk." Monica wanted to keep her head in the sand, and I am loving it. I need Bruno and Bernardo to see each other.
Yeah.
And I need Bruno to see the type of person that she got in her head, and I need Bruno to walk away from her. I'm sorry. If you cannot smell the bull coming off of Bernardo, you do not need to be with Bruno.
Right, especially after he had her waiting an hour and a half for a date, and then he didn't show up an hour and a half late. He called her. He finally remembered to call her and say, "Well, you know what? I'm going to be even later." Like, what? What are you
Right.
what are you talking about? Didn't we just earlier today have a conversation about that you were going to do better and you said you were going to do better, and this is the best you can do is an hour and a half later after the date you calling me to say, "Hey, I'm playing with the boys and I'll get there when I get there." Like,
And
what?
and she told him, "I don't want that." And here he is giving you that bull, and you taking it.
He don't want her. Now you keep talking about Kevin doesn't want Amber. No, this is the guy who really doesn't want the woman. That is Bernardo. Bernardo does not want uh he does not want her. He does
Because
not
he
want
wants
her.
kids. That was the first thing. He wants kids, and she does not.
I
Let him
think
go.
yeah, but I think it's more than that though. I think that the matchmaker pointed it out too. He's got a little bit of player still in him. And
Yes,
because
he
even though
does.
she doesn't want to have kids, he figures he's just gonna play with her. And if she's willing to throw the panties to him, he's gonna catch him.
He gonna catch him. He gonna use him, and then he gonna toss him.
He's gonna toss him. Uh
Then we see Amber.
Amber's
Is
going out with Glenn again, but I think I figured it out. I believe it's Glenn
Yep,
that she's gonna go off on.
yep.
Slowed it down. I slowed it down. I had to slow it down several times, and I caught it. I said, "Oh, that's Glenn."
You don't need to see him. You just need to see the area because where they are dancing is where the argument happened.
Oh yeah. Now I just don't. I just want to know what the argument is about. But we're gonna have to find out. Wait till next week to find out what this argument is about. But Amber is livid.
She
Livid.
she is breaking people's glassware in a foreign country. Amber, you know better than that. You was raised better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous when you get out here to these other countries and you're doing things, misbehaving in public, misbehaving. What may be misbehaving in America could be jail time in another country.
Exactly. Exactly. Just because the folks speak English in Ireland don't mean they ain't gonna put you away, behind bars. I saw that, K Sharp.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, GTD. I agree with you.
Get them
Well,
draws.
on that note, now tell the people where they can find you and what you're doing over on your channel.
I am LSid932 on YouTube, and you can find all kinds of stuff apart from Match Me Abroad, which I do here on Tuesdays with actually Aubrey. I also do King's Court on Wednesdays. Fridays, I do LSid Unscripted, where the chat tells me what they want to talk about. Saturday is Project Runway,
Mm.
and my lives are usually at 5:05 EST. On Sunday, it is unsolicited advice. I also have a membership group where we have fun in the membership and we get really, adult conversations going on.
Mm.
Also, next week, starting September 10th, there's Love is Blind Brazil season 5, where the 50 and over crew is dating and they are spicy. I love it. Also, Love is Blind Francais season 1 is also dropping on September 10th. So I'm going to be busy next week, okay? Busy,
Okay.
busy. Please pack your patience with me, but I'll be covering both. And for my members, I have also put up the pictures of the France cast, and they are a good looking bunch of people. Love is
Mm.
Blind France, all the Love is Blind. I need y'all to get some people questioning their eyesight because these people look really good. There isn't an ugly duckling in the bunch.
Oh, is that the Brazil, the mature group that's coming
Brazil
up?
is the 50 and over group,
50 and
yes.
over. Yeah, mature.
But
Okay.
I
Hmm.
put up the France cast that has been released by
Mm.
Netflix. So Love is Blind France, that cast, and I had to translate the occupations into English. So
Nice. Nice. Hey,
so
look,
that is
y'all.
up for members.
El Cid is the hardest working woman on the YouTube streets right now. So y'all better come and get it now. Go ahead and subscribe, like her videos, and become a member of her channel because it's fun over there too.
It is. We try to have fun. We ain't gonna be
Not
this is an escapism. This is a channel you will get a
yeah.
good chuckle. I will say some outlandish things, okay? But you will get a good chuckle.
Now tell me this: did I miss? Because I know it was a holiday weekend, but did I miss the Love Is Blind UK? Did I miss the live for that, or did you reschedule it? Because I didn't see it.
I had two lives for Love Is Blind UK. I did
Oh,
the reunion finale as a live raw reaction where we
okay,
all watched it at the same time. That was about 4 o'clock on Sunday because they
okay.
released it 9 p.m. British Standard Time. And
Ah,
also I had the panel yesterday at about 5:05 Eastern Standard Time. So we had
ah,
the panel yesterday. It
I'll
was it
have
was
to.
funny.
I will be over there to check that out because I was I was a little blown away by that reunion. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yes, we were blown away. And as To Go to Africa says, Love is Blind France has a lot of black folk on it in the
Oh
cast.
yeah, oh
But
yeah.
yes, if you are a member, you get to see what the cast looks like. I probably won't reveal the cast to the general public till next week, right before it airs. So my members always get or usually get my content first.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I definitely have to go over and check that out. I'm running over there now. So, guys, we're gonna shimmy and shake on out of here, right, Elsit?
Yeah, we go shimmy and shake.
All right, be sure to like the video and subscribe, and also go over to Elsid 932 and do the same. We'll see you next week.